One of the fundamental principles of composition is making sure your subject stands out clearly from the background. We call this figure-to-ground relationship. Basically the relationship between the figure, your subject or main element, and the ground, the background behind it. A strong figure-to-ground relationship means your subject is clearly distinguishable from its background. This is crucial because if subject and background blend together, the viewer's eye won't know where to look. There are several ways to achieve good subject-to-background separation. Contrast, probably the most common method. If your subject is dark, try to have a lighter background behind it, or vice versa. That tonal contrast, light against dark, makes the subject pop. For example, a person wearing a white dress will stand out best against a darker backdrop, not a bright white wall. Colors can contrast too. A red flower against green leaves has color contrast that separates it. Focus or depth of field. Using depth of field can blur the background, that's the bokeh, and keep the subject sharp, which separates figure and ground. However, as I'll mention later, I often prefer to use other methods than heavy blur. Still, it's a valid technique, especially in portraits, to make the subject crisp against a soft backdrop. Clear overlap or silhouette. Ensuring the outline of the subject is clearly defined. If the background has lots of clutter or similar textures, the subject can get lost. Try to position yourself or the subject so that behind them is a cleaner area or one with a contrasting tone. Sometimes moving a step left or right changes what's immediately behind your subject, like positioning a bird against the open sky rather than against the busy tree branch area. Lighting differences. You can use light itself. Maybe your subject is lit and the background is in shadow. That creates separation. Or rim lighting. Light outlining your subject's edges can visually separate them from background. A lot of figure-to-ground is about perception. Our eyes can handle a complex scene if the main subjects are clearly defined as shapes. One trick artists use is to squint or blur your eyes when looking at a composition. If you squint and can't immediately see your subject's shape because it blends with the background, you might need to adjust something. Angle, background, light, etc. I often say the background is equally important as the subject when composing. Beginners sometimes focus so much on the person or object they're shooting that they completely ignore what's behind it. But in a photograph, the background isn't just an afterthought. It's part of the image and contributes to the story or visual appeal. A cluttered or distracting background will pull attention away from your subject, no matter how interesting the subject is. So remember, pay attention to your backgrounds. Don't just look at your subject, consciously observe what is behind and around them in the frame. Use contrast, depth or light to create separation. If you're shooting street photography and you see a person against the busy street, maybe wait until they walk in front of a plain wall or adjust your angle so a blank sky is behind their head. These small moves yield a much cleaner image where the subject reads clearly. This principle is so important it even comes into play in post-processing sometimes, like dodging and burning to increase contrast between subject and background. But it's best to handle it in camera with composition. Figure to ground. Make it a mantra when composing. Does my subject clearly stand out here? If yes, great. If not, what can I change? Photography is all about vision. No one cares what gear or what camera settings you used. What is important? Composition and light. How you arrange a scene and capture light to tell a story. So, if you are ready to unlock the secrets of composition that will transform your photography, let's get started.